just like my bloodline stem from the leeward and the leeward and windward Maroon. From north to south, east to west, to connect to everyone, right? You know how long I really want to get here from?
That's right.
Because we can verify, you know, my sister said, you know, the shrine up there, and I have a grandfather. So they must say, my favor him, you know? You know, the
So
shrine up
you
there.
need so you ever come into a compound, yeah?
Never set foot up there a day in my life.
So which side of that? Give thanks, Shemar, blessed love,
You
respect.
know, say a bull beer my grow. Ready?
Yeah,
Alright, bull beer my grow. When my left bull beer my Currie. He's
yeah.
ready to make for my life. You see the same day where you start this life thing, the 30th, that was my earth plan, you know?
Yes, sir.
So,
Blessing
the
Tanta.
30, you know, and as fun as I'm there right now, it is.
That is it, my family. That is it.
So,
Listen,
I have
man.
some, I have some
Take
holy
a
for
trip.
declaration. What you know, no? I have studied law years from Mr. Big Nose doing they call it education, because two of my parents work for the government, you know. At the very
See.
highest level. SEG 6 link with everybody who run in the country, all of them things the family. Me
Got you.
study the things good from things here. I'm kind of a master, you know. They set up the
See.
declaration, then all them something, the notice them and the farmer, last, everything. We learn
We
certain.
get where you say, man. Then we have to
More,
talk, man. We have to talk off
yeah,
the ear,
I'm
man. You know that?
more added to the whole foundation. What day I'm going to talk to L.A. Rules up in place and I tell him, say, what are we need to link up there? No matter if you have a differences. Black staff, more town, we come out Maroon town here, brother. Right now, I think about my bloodline and I need to more develop in a real livable sanctuary for people, you
You
know.
have to check in, man. You have to check in with the peoples them on the ground. Go over to the town, find the people them. Come on compound, find the people them. You have to start the part of the journey them in general. You see me, I say?
And
The
soon
part
I'm
the
a reach
internet.
here for, you know, the engine gets stuck on the transmission. Forgive me for you bad work on the program, you know.
Such say it go, man. Watch me, man. Here we do. Try and map a January 6th festival, man. This say I go set your iPad and try see if you can reach. You
I
see even
do
forward
festival
info,
in the
man.
reach,
Even
man.
more. You
So I
see
guess
it?
we're not prejudiced, you know. You have
Alright.
to hear the two side of the story. One a cut
Yeah,
one
man.
say, oh, this a thing, and next one a cut one say, this a
No,
thing.
man. Yo, me pass them with that in a
Yeah,
family. Them can
I
sit
can't
down
remember
there,
one.
plot. Them can sit down there, plot pan history and a talk about who did this and who did what. When we have what we need for have in front and we are not pay attention with it, while other people are running with one that we foot. And when they are big about who did that and who are what. Me done with them and that, you know, party. Me don't seal my ship with that, you know. I come and move with or without anybody who don't want to see. We put in front of them, we sit down with everybody. We have all conversations we need to have already family. I come just and move right now. You understand? Me know you know that's something there again. Me not go down the route there with them again. Me done and show them when me depend unity and love and bringing our family them together. But everyone's still stuck in this power thing. You understand? Them can sit down there with that. Me not depend that. You understand me fam?
The power was
Yeah
straight
man.
down the line, divided out. Everybody
Yeah
have
man.
the have me as long as me don't violate
You gone low my general.
Oh man, I said all the power structure, this structure, we are the original custodians of our island. Our keys, them 40 odd keys were connect to the island, see me, right? Our territory. We get everybody can control and use the thing them evilly bad man. What they go on after time, one and one start lock off access to ones and start divide up the thing them more wicked and wicked and wicked and over time
We
thing just get
allowed
corrupt.
we allowed ourselves to be tricked here, my lord, and that's our problem. So what we are doing to prevent it from happening again? Are we being tricked again right now? You understand?
Yeah, from the bare paper and the people them don't know. They come like a Bantu Zulu now. Cause me tell you something, they all around the circle, you know, cause me have to link with who me know say.
Talk.
Even if our next set I say, yo, him a talk foolishness, me have to know, me comprehend everybody knowledge. I know who is talking foolishness and who is talking facts. All if a next one look
Yes, sir.
deceiving in him approach. I still can overstand and see through any form of delusion. You know? I'm do
Yes, sir.
prejudice because sometimes, just because of the fact say I work with the next one who is technically a colonizer same way, it
Yeah,
kinda it
man.
look,
Listen.
conflict of interest. But when I look on the greater factor the matter when you come back to the treaty, everybody a curse over the two treaty them. Who can fix them, All who can come together and say, all right, if we do like the 38 or the 39 treaty, come make us fix it. Come make us fix it. Why no? Why them not? Why is not an argument like that? Hmm? Cause if we are the ears of the bloodlines them. We are the descendant them, right? So we have authority to fix anything them do in our past, brother. And
Trust me,
notify
man.
all of the party them worldwide.
One
I
of
will
the
link
thing what them say,
practically everybody worldwide.
one of the thing what them have, I say in the circles of indigenous communities, there are often too many chiefs and not enough Indians. See, that's a say that they have. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians. You know what I mean, fine? Since me become chief, nobody never I deal with Maroon business and I take up Maroon business, till the minute me come and start do what me think the need for do and fruits start for sure, right? A bunch of chiefs just show up now. Everybody a tell me what to do, how to do, what to do. What did fit happen when never happen, I know to do and how to do all that. You see all of them something them IG, me respect everybody and them opinion and them time where them take for fight. But it's when it comes to what needed to be done and no one was doing it and everybody get up now and I question me, I question what me I do, I question who give me authority. No, the people gave me authority. Actually, the only chief in Jamaica right now that is elected, right? The people gave me that authority. Not a self-proclaimed, this is something going on for over 200 and odd years. No other community has that yet.
Alright, for sure. Alright, for sure is something, Chief.
So,
So how powerful. When the people we are running with this Maroon thing, I will know say. Yeah, say there's not enough Indian. They make a very important point. Cause we are the original Indian. Then take Indian off our name and give one different name.
but Indian was
Indian.
a name though, fam. That may I tell you, Indian was another derogatory term to
You
confuse.
see that everything you derogatory because imagine them areas are history. Say them areas are 1,000 years worth of history from out of each country. Rewrite the history and give and we have to find the truth out of foolishness. We have to see the nonsense.
Yeah,
Make
man.
sense out of the nonsense.
Yeah,
It's hard,
man. We have to, my lord. We have to. Because here's what's happening, right? We have a document that is binding to those colonizing forces that were here right now. And that document gave us a distinct line of power and argument of jurisdiction to which we have exercised for over 200 years to now, right? The terms that were written up in that document were written up as an understanding between the British and our people at the time who were together, right? Because remember, when it signed, the British never signed 2-3 agreement with 3-4 different set of people. It understands that all of the rebel them as they call them on the island was no under control of one person. And him a lead the militia, him a cause the problem, and him will talk to.
Yeah.
We have to understand that, bro. If we now come from that foundation, I think that it don't make no sense. Right?
You have to actually understanding sometime of family. You have to give the people knowledge so they can
Yeah,
comprehend.
because watch your family,
You know?
we are set ourselves up to be rebels without a cause. Everybody
Yes.
get up and I say, oh, if we burn this and fight this, but with what? Under what authority? Brother, you already have your authority, you just haven't been wise to exercise it. Let's come and sit under the tree and get wiser about what needs to be done. So you said the right thing, my G. How we don't need to organize why the house was broken. The house was broken by jealousy, by people wanting their own way, and they forgot about the mansion that they created. You understand what I say?
Yeah.
And gone back and create little huts. So the mansion is here. We're fixing back the mansion, right? We're welcoming back everybody into the mansion, bro. But everybody want to come into the mansion as the king. You understand? And that's a big problem, right? Why everybody can't come in and have the seat at the table where we are trying to create. That's it about, the seat at the table. To come to some congruence on what needs to happen to better us together. It's no one man thing, it's no who is who and what. It's the congruence of the collective. That's all. You know, and my bro. So I really hope the people find that them hard to come off of them ego and start look on the bigger picture and lego the trees and start look on the forest. You know what I mean? Yeah, my general. Big up yourself, you know, man. We'll connect up again, yeah?
Alright, my G, big up.
Active. Love and respect, family. Honey bee. Good night, good night. Good night, you hearing me? Honey bee? Alright, I don't know what I'm going this. Alright, people. I'm gonna take one more call tonight and then we're gonna wrap it up, you know? Oh, don't you like the conversation tonight? Tell me, you know, cause me I go end it because I feel like I'm probably tired and I want to go eat, but we can spend a little bit more time with you. But I do love the conversations and I appreciate the people checking in. Somebody said check DMs. Well, jeez, I'm way go for check DM right now, people. You know, I'm catching up, all right. So just bear with me. Bear with me. Are you tired, man? Yeah, man. For real. Good night. Good night.
Greetings.
Greetings, sister. How are you?
Hold on, I'm turning up my phone. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm here, but anyways, just want to say glad that you were able to get your water machine. How is it working?
Great. It's actually working great. It is not finished being installed because we're adding an extra catchment to it to store the water that is generating, because it comes with a very small reservoir. So we need a larger reservoir to really store that water. And then we're gonna put a kiosk at the end of that reservoir so people will bring their 5-gallon jugs and fill their bottles. So the water generator is solving the issue of clean drinking water, not household water, right? The unit that we currently have doesn't generate the capacity to provide household supply, but we'll be giving each household in a compound and adjoining districts a 5-gallon jug that they can now come and have it refilled as needed, as required, once everything goes live. So a couple more weeks and we should be up and running.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
I've never been to a compound. I wouldn't even know how to get there.
Where are you now? Where are you now?
I'm in Ontario.
Okay, in Ontario. All right. So our compound is in St. Elizabeth, right? If you're coming into Jamaica, you're coming to Montego Bay. You stay in St. James. It's a less than 2-hour drive from Montego Bay, coming over the hill. If you're coming in from Kingston, it's about 2 hours and maybe 30-45 minutes drive. And it's about half an hour from Appleton Estate where they make the rum, right? So if you get in and around the area of Appleton Estate, you're not far from a compound. So just to give you a little heads up.
See, yeah. Hopefully next time when I come to Jamaica, I get an opportunity to come up there because see some pictures, you know.
Look like man, you should.
A nice place.
January 6th is our annual celebration. We get a wholesome experience here. So maybe you should mark that on your calendar and see if you can make it, you know?
For real. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
All right. So I know I was born in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. My mom and dad was born in Jamaica. You know, I came to Canada when I was young, but unfortunately my dad passed away about 3 years ago here.
Sorry to hear that.
I know you're saying the word maroon is kind of a derogatory term to describe our ancestors that fought for our liberation. Yeah. So you say we should call what should we call ourselves, or should we call the people of?
First Nation Jamaicans.
Okay.
Right.
And how
That's
do I
why.
know if I am a First Nation? Like what
All
makes
right.
me a First Nation?
All right. One of the first things you'd want to know, right, is if your family grew up in one of those Maroon communities, or if your family extended from one of those Maroon communities. So on the leeward side, which we're on, which is in Cockpit Country, you have Flagstaff, and you have a compound. Those are the two communities in the leeward. There were other communities, obviously, but many of those communities were pretty much decimated, or they the Maroons living in those areas moved out into other districts.
From what I know, my father originally from St. Mary.
Okay, so
My
you've been
mother,
a roots now. Right.
and my
So that's
mother
a
is
good
from
start.
Portland. My mother was from Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
I'm not forgot much further. I can tell you that you're a Maroon. If your dad is from St. Mary, your mom is from Portland.
And when I dig a little deeper, my grandmother and my grandfather on my father's side, originally they from Trelawney, and they moved into St. Mary.
Okay.
From what I was told.
There you go. So you're in Cockpit Country, and if they move from Cockpit Country into another Maroon territory, most likely they were Maroons. So the good start. What I normally advise people is trace back your bloodline, your family. Where was your great great grandfather, great great grandmother, whoever situated, say in 1800 or 1738. If you can find that out, right, that's your starting point. And then using that family name, going back into that area, starting to trace your family bloodline, you will most likely find someone who can connect the dots back to one of your earlier ancestors. And that's typically how it's done here. So we normally have historians who, and I say historians, elders, who play a role as historians in helping to trace family lines through history. Yeah. As if somebody asks if there are guest houses in a compound. Yes, there are guest houses in a compound. And yes, the celebration is January 6th. We try to do 2 days, so the 5th and the 6th. If you're trying to come, now is a good time to start looking at your itinerary. Sorry, sister.
That's okay. I don't really have much to say because that would just be my opinions and stuff. But I see you doing your thing, so I'm just saying continue in your endeavor to enlighten the people, because you don't know what the situation with us here in Jamaica. Well, I'm not in Jamaica now, you know what I mean? And a lot of us don't really know who we are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in our real life, you know what I'm saying? We just underneath the system.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we have these colonized intellectuals who are really, some of them are worse than the actual the real colonizers. So, yeah, I'll be watching out, you know? All right,
Yes.
big up yourself, Keith. We done now.
Bless up, sister. Love every time, yeah?
Irene.
Yeah, man. Some of the guest house information you can find online, guys, right? There are a couple Airbnbs that are here in a compound. So you can go online and look those up, right? I need to have a listing of those so I can share. I will do that, right? To help everybody. All right, does Maroon do politics? All right, I spoke about this earlier. So if you just joined, I'll go over it again. Maroons have dual citizenship rights. So as Maroons, some do exercise their rights in voting in the Jamaican election. Why? Because the laws of the land and the decisions made by state on the land affects Maroons. For the sake that Maroons were left out of the Constitution, we do not have a direct line to air our grievances as it relates to legislature, laws that are being set on the land that impacts our lifestyle, our way of life, our lands, our culture. Many have chosen to exercise that capacity in casting their vote, while others have reserved it. In this time, in this moment in history in time, 2025, I, Chief Richard Currie, support Maroons actually casting their votes. Why? We're talking about becoming a republic and pulling away from a colonizing attachment, right? In doing so, this government is assuming its total authority over the land, including those controlled by the Maroons and possessed by the Maroons, without engagement and interaction with the Maroons. So for the Maroons, it is imperative that you are voting this time, you're voting on matters that are affecting you. Matters such as, one, having your voice in laws and legislature that directly impacts and affects our way of life and our culture. Our move to becoming a republic can only be complete if it involves the engagement and understandings of the Maroons. Nobody else on the island, the Maroons. Rastas are Maroons. So yes, the Maroons. So that's why for now, I would endorse utilizing that vote to make what didn't happen in 1962 happen this time around, right? We have seen where the opposition has proposed making that Senate seat or more than one Senate seat available on an independent basis, not under the party, right? That's what we've been lobbying for, and that's what needed to have happened to start the conversations to get to a point where we needed to get to as far as it relates to legislature and laws, acknowledging our existence first, and then our rights and the treatment of our people and our land. This is what is important for everybody to understand at this time. I hope I clear that for everybody, and we're not hear the question again, right? Why are the Moors the first police officer on the land? I'm not sure. Why are the Moors the first police officer on the land? I don't know if you mean Maroons or you really mean the Moors. Clarify that. What do you think about the removal of the Governor General? Good or bad thing? For the sake of becoming a republic, yeah, there needs to be a total rearrangement of what the structure of governance looks like, right? Remember, guys, the republic comes together in the understanding between the indigenous population and the state population. That's how it works in all countries. That's how you become a republic. You understand? If there's no understanding between state and indigenous, you can't say you have a republic, all right? The Maroons have the ability to create this republic. Yes, we are the sovereigns of the land, right? So if the government is keen and intent and seriously removing the crown, yes, the Maroons have that key. But we have not been engaged by the current government. Instead, we believe there's an attempt to take the land from us and to create a republic on the false premise of an understanding with the indigenous population. That is not so. And it can't happen that way. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. I'm just sharing information. Continue asking the questions. All right. I'm going to bring in another person when join in. I'm going to chime in somebody else. Big up Momo. Reggae Hans Records. All right. Yes, the Maroons can vote. Maroons have dual citizenship rights. We are Maroons. We also are Jamaicans. We have Jamaican instruments. It does not determine your identity. They're instruments of trade and commerce. Yeah, Maroons have a privilege of being able to vote in 2 elections. Yeah, the Maroon election and the Jamaican election. Why you don't have a seat in the House of Parliament? Because that was never ever discussed prior to now, where it has been proposed by the opposition leader. That's what we've been advocating for the voices of Indigenous people to be heard at the government level, at the state level. There's no getting land in a compound more than being able to utilize land. Yes, sorry about that. What makes one a Maroon? Let's think back. Who did they call a Maroon? Wild and untamed Negroes who them couldn't catch. Never have nothing to do with bloodline. If you escaped and joined those group of people, you were also called a Maroon. That's how it went then. Fast forward to today, those same groupings of people have now created a bloodline that's quite unique. That's the start of understanding if you are Maroon. Is your family stemming from one of the Maroon communities? Where's your family living when the treaty was signed? Where's your family when slavery was abolished? These are questions you have to ask, and you have to find and dig and go into these communities and speak with the elders and find your bloodline, find your tribe, man. So keep going, I'm looking. Give thanks for all the gifts tonight, people. Really appreciate it. I see them coming in. Right? Yeah, man. Blessings. Good night, everybody. Heal. Heal, heal, heal. Alright, man. Try join Miguel, but look like him have some connection problems. How do you become a native of the people? Ben Lomond's district people are Maroon. Yeah, man. Ben Lomond is in Cockpit Country. Right? Very close to Quick Step. Yeah, man. Love and respect. Nah, man. No civil war now go on. I bear love in Jamaica. People must have to uphold them principles and moralities. Yeah, man. Love and respect. Bless up everybody. Give me a tap, just like up the live. I don't really have to stay much longer. Did Maroons capture runaway slaves and bring them back to colonizers? Alright, so that person just asked a question, right? We talked about this last night, right? When you read the treaty, right, the treaty speaks to several items in the understandings between the British and the Maroons on the land, right? One of those had to do with returning slaves to their masters if they chose to go back, right? First of all, in the earlier clauses in the treaty, it spoke to anyone joining Kojo and his men would be accepted under the terms of accommodation of Kojo. Once they agreed to those terms, they would be considered free men and live under the same terms and tenure of freedom that Kojo had created for his people. Why would they be subjecting themselves to Captain Kojo for freedom? By means of subjection means you're becoming almost like a citizen. You're asking him to accept you into his house. And those terms of accommodation are no different terms than what you would sign on a piece of immigration document when you fly into another country and sign that you accept to abide by the laws of the country and all these things. Now, in one of the terms, you said that if someone wishes to go back to their master, right, after the signing of the treaty, that Kojo would take them back to their masters, and it was guaranteed that they would not be punished for having left in the first place. Go back and read it. You will understand what I say. Now, one, why would a slave catcher put in the terms of the treaty that anyone who comes back to the plantation must not be punished, right? Not the language of a slave catcher, right? Why would you run away and why would you go back? People ask. Well, you have to understand the analogs of history and how it operated and how things operated in those times. They were what were called indentured contracts, contracts for service, that people who came over and worked were not classified as slaves, but were indentured servants. Many of them were promised freedom and land after completing, I think, 2 years and some 4 years of indentured servitude. Now, when the plantations were being raided, some persons might have been in their 3rd year of a 4-year indentureship. When they go up in the hills and realize the quality of life and that they're now a refuge, right? Many chose to go back to finish that 1 year so that they can get them freedom from the oppressor. Get this now, the freedom from the oppressors and land that would come with it. That's why some people chose to go back. And that's why it was written into the treaty that way, that they would go back, and if they went back, they would not be, yes, it's different from apprenticeship. Apprenticeship came after. So because of, after abolition. So because of that, I want to understand, tell me if you not like what I say, or it sound like it makes sense, right? People were demanding to be returned. Me never want to stay in the wild. Me can't live the wild life. A bossy bougie slave or bougie servants, right? They did not want that. So they were taken back. And for taking them back, the Maroons were compensated for the cost of getting them back, right? In another part of the treaty, it spoke about returning anyone who came into the territory back to a magistrate. What is a magistrate? A magistrate, where does a magistrate operate? The magistrate operates within a court. The magistrate is like a judge, right? When you take somebody to the magistrate, they've committed a crime. What is the crime? That's what you have to ask, because the crime wouldn't have been running away, right? Because if you ran away, came to Kojo and chose to accept to his terms of accommodation, then you were considered a free Negro, like Kojo and his men. So you have to understand in chronological order as you go down, each treaty clause, right, carries the higher up that clause is, the higher the weighting. It's almost subjects all the other clauses beneath. So you have to understand that the freedom was created by that opening of that door, that if you subjected to the terms of accommodation, you were considered free man. Further down, you have the returning of those who chose to go back, which they would not be punished for having left in the first place. And then further down, it has those who were then taken straight to the magistrate, right? And the Maroons again would be compensated for their troubles in taking them to the magistrate. This, ladies and gentlemen, is no different from what we have today that is called an extradition clause. When a criminal commits a crime, murder, whatever it may be, and runs away into another country, that country has a treaty with the other country that speaks to extradition of criminals, right? That treaty, that term is speaking to persons who would have been fleeing from one jurisdiction having committed a crime, right? So you have to look at how the treaty would have been termed in the understanding that there are two nations operating on this one piece of land. So the treaty lands are not the lands that the Maroons are living on. The treaty lands are the lands in between where the two entities were operating, the lands that are called crown lands. Those are the treaty lands, right? So no one had higher right or more right to the land that was called crown lands, because there were two crowns on the land in the understanding of the treaty. The treaty gave a recognition of equal status, which is why even in the document it said if a hog was caught within 3 miles of a kraal settlement or pen, it was shared equally between the owner of the kraal, the settlement or the pen, and the Maroons. That is symbolic of the equal nature of the understanding of the peoples they called Maroons on the land. So I want you to understand that the treaty was outlining how both entities, both nations would be operating on the parcel of land that lay in between where they operated. Do you understand? So even while we were living within the cockpits and Trelawney town, it said we could hunt and gather where see fit within 3 miles. So fast forward to today. Crown lands and the essence of crown lands did not change. I can show you maps that say crown lands in control of their compound Maroons, right? It can show you other crown lands, right, that are being utilized by other Maroon communities. So it is merely a declaration that would be made for other lands to be occupied and utilized by Maroons. That's why the Maroons could have created communities for freed slaves after 1838. So a lot of what you've been told is being brainwashed for you to not understand the power you possess, the power we have over the land, and to detract you in believing that we're trying to create a separation. The fact is, we were the police for the people to preserve what we fought and died for in blood. Yeah? So, are you Jamaican? I'm a Jamaican. I'm a First Nation Jamaican. They call us Maroons. So yes, I'm a Jamaican. I'm a First Nation Jamaican. Right? So it is important that we fully comprehend. Listen, you don't have to take anything I'm saying right here. Right? You don't have to. Your information and knowledge is there for you to access only if you choose to. Right? I'm telling you my history. Right? You can tell me what you've read about history. I'm telling you my history. Okay? So I just want you to digest that a little bit, right? Look into it, right? Because I've been saying it to you quite some time now, and I'm going to say it again, right? No one should be kicked off the what we call crown lands today. No one, right? You have rights to those lands, particularly if you're able to prove you've been on that land for over 40 years, even the 60 years that the government has been under the independent charter of 1962. Did the Maroons get British? I do not know that, my brother. I don't even know how to even quantify or qualify that. I don't know where that number came from. I don't know where that conversation. I have no idea or knowledge of that. Do you have special privilege from other Jamaicans in terms of rights to land? Yes, absolutely. That's the most significant privilege that Maroons have, or those labeled Maroons have, compared to those under the corporate of Jamaica, the state, right? Our rights to land are quite significantly different from you. So there's a lot of conversations that need to be had around that argument for you to quite understand your power over the land. If Jamaica, a registered corporation that's in the Crown Trust, how does Maroon call himself Jamaica? All right, so if you have a Jamaican ID or Jamaican passport, you are called a Jamaican citizen. Nothing prevents a Maroon from obtaining Jamaican citizenship. Actually, we have the right to that dual citizenship. I hope that answers your question. We are the First Nation Jamaicans identified by treaty. Our rights differ for the sake of that treaty. Bless up Taunton, bless up Aberdeen, bless up Bagdale Mountain, bless up Windsor, bless up Garlands, yeah, bless up Harsguard, right? Bless up Eldersley, Mulgrave, Crooks Bottom, right? Bless up Cedar Spring, right? Beth Salem, Long Road, Retirement, right? Whitehall. Yeah man, big up all of the district them. Big up everybody out there, big up the Maroon and ride across the cockpit. You know what I mean? We go up in a place called Cascade where they're beautiful, you see. I'm gonna go up in a place named Pisca today. Oh my God. Yeah man. First Nation people. Yeah, First Nation people. Big up yourself, Maypen. Yeah man. Race course, yeah man, big up on yourself. Yeah man. Cascade in St. Anne, yes, very beautiful, lovely place. right? When you're up there, it feels like you're in heaven, man. Amazing people up there. Catadupa, same place, same kind of thing. Love my people them from Catadupa. Whole heap of thing over there going on in Catadupa. I watch it, No see me, but my love, I watch it. Make sure no vigilant when I watch it here. Yeah, man. Love and respect, Negril. Everybody. A heart of love. Star Kingdom, a goal a reason. Yeah, man. Blessed love.
Blessed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, man. The Maroon, our Maroon tax exempt in Jamaica.
Yes, the Maroons do not pay tax to the crown. We do not pay tax on our lands. We should not be paying taxes on the ports. And these are the things we are fighting for, brother. Legislative changes to address and acknowledge these things. You understand? You
Yeah,
have to
man.
overcome red tape and knock down door and right to that and all kind of things when that should be a item that is fully understood from a legislative standpoint, which again is why we're saying this opportunity in front of us to etch ourselves in history in a participatory way in where the country goes cannot be missed. Yeah, so we have a talk.
Alright, so like, me ask it already still, but me never remember for the answer, because when the treaty is signed between the Crown and the Maroon, right? Politicians never their own them politicians never include na them thing there, Right, me I say? So as a chief, why you not have your seat in the House of Parliament for speak for your people? Because I don't think no politician should either have a talk in whether you should be in the House of Parliament or not. You get me, I say?
That is
So
it, brother.
why you not have your seat in the talk for the Maroons? Because me is a bloodline of the Mortal Maroons,
There you go, brother.
You know what I say?
So
So
what is now? At the first in our history, we see it be we see what you just said a while ago is the first in history on this island that we're seeing that being proposed right now by the opposition leader, an independent seat in the Senate for the Maroons.
the Maroon, if you have a table to see if you can speak up for the people them, for the Maroons them.
Would I have a
From the
report already? Would I
long
have
time.
already? Rest assured.
Long time.
Yeah, man.
And then I say, and go and fight for your people them, man. Go and fight for your people them. Because I guess, more than, me that said more than 80% with people them really brainwash,
Yeah,
You
man.
get me? I say, and Wolper history.
Watch this now. See, Omalu, I say, you sign a treaty with the British Criminal Crown. That signing is no good. Like, when you want me say to you now, Omalu, like, you are one of them who sit down in the key of our history. I try dissect and criticize when you look for what in front of you and realize the power we have in front of you, how you build upon that. You not come from a position where you can understand what they are so. But add little enlightenment to space, man. We free up your mind for enough little things that we are trying to say. Because if you don't listen anything what me I say while ago, you don't understand what go on. But continue, my general.
Yeah, man. That's me. I say, man. A lot of history never get passed down into generations. You know what I say?
Yeah,
And
man.
thing. All if a brainwashing go on and thing. People
Yeah.
actually believe say you have to kill out yourself and to make a living and them thing there. Well, people need to actually like know say Jamaica is registered as a state underneath the IRS.
That is.
You get me? I say with that simple means say even you can stay in Jamaica and do your federal taxes with the IRS and thing. You can when people here say give back your inheritance and then they road a protest and thing. In a real life, them just now make you wise up you know say go do your as a Jamaican you can go do your you can go follow your I-10 farm, right? Do your 1099 A and B and claim back your inheritance. You get me, I say? Because everything, people if they understand, say now, everything is in trust. Every single thing in this world operates under trust. Anywhere at all you go, and you see a crest or a seal, right? It represents a trust because seals and crests represent territories
That is
and
it.
thing. Right, let me say. So everything is a private
Trust.
organization. Everything, even the court, is a
Yes, sir.
private organization. You get me? Say? And people just need to just make themselves more knowledgeable and know how to operate because everything in this world is commerce.
Thank you, my brother.
Everything in this world is commerce. There's nothing in this world that is not commerce.
Why you think the
Right?
British were forced to sign the treaty? Because the Maroons hit them where it hurt the most. Commerce. When them couldn't make money, the sugar which was generating 50% of them wealth started hitting home. Them couldn't pay them debtors, them creditors who did have fund the war. Them couldn't balance the war upon the high seas. I remember France out there, Portugal out there, Spain out there, and it was a tussle for land. So them had to figure out a way how to stabilize because them could have lose all. They were forced to sign a treaty because we hit them where the money, where it really concerned them, the money. And that's all it is. It's a commerce, as you rightfully said. That's what they fought
Yeah.
for.
It's commerce. Everything is commerce.
Yes, sir.
Everything is commerce.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I say? And what them do now, if people look underneath a company called Duns and Bradstreet, you actually see say the Jamaica government cabinet is a registered business. Right? It's a registered business. So if Jamaica is a registered business, you as a Jamaican, that make you a client of the corporation.
Yeah,
You get me, I say? And when in everything there is duality, you know. So when you hear say, oh, you have to follow the laws, whatever laws there is, whatever law there is, you know, that's under where citizens are following. You know. It is laws that are in trust, but in trust they are called bylaws.
There you go.
They are called bylaws in trust, but in the public they are just called law. You have to follow the law. You get me, I say? So people need to operate. When they reach of age, when they need to just operate in trust. When you reach of age, right, you create your trust. You create your own ship, right? You create your own ship and start steer your own ship and come off our next man's ship. You get me, I say?
Straight.
Yeah, man. So people just need to educate themselves and them thing there and understand. Say United States, America, and the United States of America is three different entities.
Same.
Three different entities. Remember, you know, the whole Western Hemisphere is called the Americas, you know.
Yeah,
Right?
the knowledge, my brother, and me know enough people don't understand nothing what I say, but
No, man. 3 years that I study this, me I talk about, man. You hear me I talk about 3 years that I study, man. And still I study. You get me, I say? Right now, the banking system we are study right now and thing. But yeah, the whole Western Hemisphere is called the Americas.
that is it, brother.
The United States. Every country. Jamaica, Barbados, all them countries, all of the Caribbean countries, them, including Canada, Mexico, they are all registered underneath the IRS as a state. Jamaica, which is a country, it is registered underneath the IRS as a state. So the country you come from is registered underneath the IRS as a state. You know, things you can do your federal tax through the IRS as well and give you make your money.
Correct.
People need to understand now. The money, the paper money we are spending at Jamaica, you know, right?
Yeah.
It's called fiat currency. Fiat. What that simple means, and if you look on the fiat currency, it has the 9-digit code for identify that note. So what I tell you say, the money that we are spend, it's what we call fiat currency. It's a promissory note. And what do you know about promissory note? It means promise to pay. So when you are do your tax and say, oh, you earn that amount of money, you lie, you tell for yourself. Because you lie for yourself. You don't earn nothing because you were promised to pay. So if you don't go to the IRS and go do your 1099A, 1099Bs, and your ITIN farmer and thing, you're not inherit if you really inherit.
And that is it, my brother. So it's really important so people them learn to read and learn to understand certain things. And when you learn, when you understand, you ask question. We're in the age of technology right now. You can go up on YouTube and type something where you need to find out. If you can't even read or if you can't even write, you have the little microphone. You can press it and say what you want, and it look for it for you.
You have something called artificial intelligence.
Everything is there. You understand?
You can use our AI. I can tell AI say break it down for your 10-year-old understand it. If all if you not have if you not have if you not intellectual enough for you to understand certain things, all AI will break it down for your 10-year-old understand it and you read.
That is it.
And you read. You see me?
That is it, brother.
Cause
With myself in a king, come say all the poor people want to jump in.
best up, you know.
Yeah,
I make sure I want to see in the House of Parliament, you know. I want to see you there in your seat and speak up for the Maroon them, you see me?
I tell you the truth, I don't know if I may go in there if it does happen that way, you know, but I know we'll have somebody very responsible in representing.
But even if it not happen, you know, even if it not happen, you as a chief, you know, you must create your own government, you know.
That's
Your own
active,
your own finance minister, your own
That's
security
active,
minister, your own Maroon police, the whole works, you know.
fully active, fully active.
Fully, man, up
Big up yourself, family. Take care
every
of yourself.
time.
Check
You
in.
to me, G, man.
All right, Papa. Yeah, man. Willing to make sculptures for the Maroon community. Big up yourself, Black Authentic. You know, send me some of your work. We can see what going on. Right? Yeah, man. Love and love alone, everybody. We just come in for talk tonight. And longer than I did think. But give thanks to everybody who hang around and give thanks to all of the gift them and the likes them and the support. Yeah, man. Just keep checking in. Set a notification. I'm gonna try to do this more often and as random as I can, right? We're gonna keep the energy going and keep the love flowing. One love we're saying and one heart and one destiny. You hear that? Big up on yourself. Love and love alone. Respect until a whole another reason. See? Yeah, man. All of those who can forward. You know, they spend the time with you can get some more understanding and intellect. Not for the bots them and the bogus them still come and dunce them when I want to learn, but I know my reason and my fault. I try to share the education and the information. Take it if you want, left it if you want. Now make me no different from where we did today. I don't know what I do for you. But love and respect for those who
Someone can't step to me, cause them all dirty, me see that inna them mind. Them say them love you, but I hypocrite and parasite. Bad mind get the best of them.